The triumph, from Breadlines to Skylines. By the mid-1970s, the name Maria's Bakery had become a New York staple. What began as a basement oven now filled entire blocks with the smell of fresh dough and cinnamon. Delivery trucks painted with her logo rolled out each morning before sunrise, supplying cafes and diners across the city. Maria Alvarez, once the girl with $47 and a patched suitcase, was now the proud owner of a thriving business and dozens of employees. But success had not changed her, it had deepened her compassion. She still wore the same flour-stained apron, still greeted customers by name, still believed that every loaf told a story. The city had changed, too. New York's skyline had grown taller, its tempo faster. Yet amid the noise and neon, Maria's Bakery remained a haven, a small, warm corner where people slowed down long enough to smile. One morning, she stood on the rooftop of her newest location in Manhattan, gazing at the skyline glowing gold in the sunrise. The wind whipped through her gray hair as she whispered, "This city tried to break me, but look, we built something together." Her eyes filled with quiet pride. But she knew the climb wasn't over. She had new dreams now, not for herself, but for others. Many of her employees were first-generation immigrants, just as she once was. Some were struggling single parents, others were young people trying to pay for school. Maria decided it was time to give back more tangibly. She started a small scholarship fund called the Rising Loaf, money set aside each year to help one employee or their child pursue education. Knowledge, she said at the first awards ceremony, is the yeast that makes life rise. The idea spread. Customers donated, local businesses joined, and within 5 years, dozens of students had gone to college thanks to Grandma Maria's generosity. Yet she never forgot the streets that had once tested her. Every winter, she organized a bread drive, hundreds of loaves given free to shelters and soup kitchens. When reporters asked why, she smiled and said, "Because I know what hunger feels like. And I know what hope tastes like." Her story began circulating beyond New York. Magazines wrote features titled "The Bread Queen of Queens." Television shows invited her for interviews. She always appeared modestly dressed, her hands folded neatly in her lap. When asked the secret to her success, she answered simply, "Work hard, stay kind, and never forget the people who helped you rise." But fame brought new pressures. Investors approached her, offering to expand Maria's Bakery nationwide. The offers were tempting, millions of dollars, huge production facilities, but she hesitated. "I didn't bake to build an empire," she told her accountant. "I baked to build a home." In the end, she chose growth with heart. She opened only a handful of new stores, each one in a community that needed jobs and warmth. She made sure they all carried the same smell, the same love, the same humanity that had started it all. By the 1980s, Maria was nearing 60, though her spirit was ageless. She'd walk through her bakeries each morning, chatting with workers, tasting the bread, offering gentle corrections. "Too much salt here," she'd say. "More patience in the kneading, bread knows when you're rushing it." Her staff adored her. To them, she wasn't just a boss, she was family. One afternoon, a young reporter asked, "Maria, when did you know you'd made it?" She smiled thoughtfully. "The first time I saw someone smile because of my bread, that was it. Everything after that was just icing on the cake." Despite her success, Maria continued to live simply. She kept her small Queens apartment, though she now owned several properties. She still rode the subway sometimes, sitting quietly among strangers, remembering the girl she had once been. On one such ride, she noticed a young woman crying softly, holding a letter in trembling hands. Maria gently offered her a napkin and asked, "Are you all right, Mija?" The girl explained she'd just been evicted, that she'd come to the city for a dream that seemed to be slipping away. Maria listened, then reached into her bag and handed the girl a business card. "Come see me tomorrow," she said. "Everyone deserves a second rise." That young woman became one of her best bakers. As the years passed, Maria began to understand that her legacy wasn't the bread, or even the buildings, it was the people. Every person she helped, every smile she sparked, every small kindness had rippled outward like sunlight through glass. One evening, at a community event honoring her life's work, the mayor of New York stepped onto the stage and declared June 12 Maria Alvarez Day. The crowd erupted in applause as she stood there, tears glistening in her eyes. She looked out over the audience, employees, neighbors, old friends, her grown nieces and nephews, and said softly into the microphone, "I came to this city with nothing but faith. And I learned that faith, mixed with work, becomes something beautiful. This city gave me everything, but only after I gave it my best." The room rose to its feet. Later that night, as she closed her bakery, Maria placed her hand on the glass door and whispered, "Gracias." Outside, the skyscrapers glowed against the dark sky, monuments of ambition, towering reminders of how far she had come. The same skyline that once frightened her now shimmered like a crown above her life's work. From breadlines to skylines, she had lived the impossible dream.